All right. So what's going on, everybody? My name is Myro Nikitenko. I'm a client partner at RedTech. And today, my partner in crime, Sergey, one of our solution engineers from RedTech, joining this webinar to tell you more about a health check. So today we are going to talk about something every Salesforce customer eventually faces. You make the investments, you roll it out, you train your team, and 6 months later, you realize you're only using a fraction of it. That's where we come in. So here's the plan for the next 45 minutes. I'll start with who we are, who's RedTech, and why customer trust us. Then I'll dive into health checks like Salesforce HealthCheck, what this really is, why it matters, and how it helps to unlock the full value of our platform. And after that, I'll hand it over to our solution engineer, Sergey, who will show you how it looks like and like what it looks like in action through real stories and practical examples. And of course, we'll wrap it up with your questions. Sergey, do you want to do some quick intro from your side?
I can just say that I'm a solution engineer with RedTech. I've been involved with various roles related to Salesforce since 2019. So that's 6 years already, as a consultant, business analyst, administrator. So a bit of experience from various sides of the equation. Thank you.
All right. So moving up next, a little bit about us. So we've been in the market 12 years so far, and we have 130 certified experts. It's overall about 500 certifications for all organization. So we're focusing mostly on Salesforce implementation. We're a fully Salesforce development company, and we are focusing mostly on core clouds like Sales and Service Cloud, but as well we have pretty wide expertise with RCA, FSL, MuleSoft, B2B commerce, and even Agentforce. Uh, we do Salesforce implementations across industries for customers in United States and in Europe as well. Our core specialty is manufacturing, but we have pretty good experience with real estate, consumer goods, SaaS, professional services, HLS, MedTech, and more. How we help our customers. So we create tailored blueprints, we do customized demos, we build strategic roadmaps, and help customers really unlock growth with the Salesforce. We build and trusted long-term partnership along the way. Here's some our uh, products we implement. As I said, a service and sales cloud, it's core clouds, and we have good experience with data cloud, experience cloud, and predictive AI like Einstein, and of course revenue cloud. Before it was CPQ, but now many customers transition from CPQ to RCA, and we helping them with this. Here's some list of companies we work with. So starting from small and gross business, ending up with enterprise companies like LG Electronics, for example. So variety of different companies, different businesses. Everybody started with a Salesforce, started with something small, and their businesses successfully growing. Um, and some few words about our services. So basically, we start with a quick start, simple Salesforce implementation. So we do discovery stages and design. We do Salesforce development. We test everything. We work out on product adoption and hypercare. We help with data migration and post-go live support. One of our areas we support our customers is a health check. This webinar about. So we review our customers now and building a future. We help with the custom solutions, with custom integrations, starting from QuickBooks and ending up with a huge ERP system like NetSuite or SAP. And we help our customers with adoption of product, with training, and do everything on our end to show you how to use a product properly for 100%. So you don't need health check in the future. So moving up next, what actually health check is. Um, so here's reality. Most companies use less than 50% of Salesforce capabilities. Um, you're asking why? Half of features go untouched. The processes don't match how people actually work. Adoption drops below 60%, and data lives everywhere except Salesforce. And it's that sound familiar. You're not alone. Quick self-test. Um, does your team still keeps spreadsheets on site, or do reports take hours to build and still don't add up? Do you have features or licenses you never touched? If you say yes to even one of these, you're a perfect candidate for a health check. Think of a Salesforce like a high performance car. Um, you wouldn't buy a Ferrari, never service it, right? At first, it runs fine, but then the brakes wear down, the engine work noises, and one day it won't start. Um, at Red Tech, we act like your pit crew. We have data mechanic who cleans duplicates, fix missing fields, align flows with the real processes. We have adoption coach who tackles slow usage. We have automation specialist who kills repetitive manual work. We have licensed auditor finds wasted spend, and we have security inspector who checks access gaps. And as well, we have roadmap strategists who build a clear plan for quick wins, long-term ROI. Every role matters. And when we all move together, it's like Formula One pit stop, fast, precise, and get it back in a race. So, what we do actually discover during the health check? Well, quick fixes that saves time immediately. Features you never been paying for but never used. Automation opportunities that be like 3 hours every week for your sales team. We find that it will help with the data cleanup. We identify cleanup needs that resource trust in reporting, and security gaps nobody noticed. And here's how we do it. Step one, we talk to your team. We hear the pain points directly. On step two, we run a technical scan, like an MRI for your CRM system. Step three is manual reviews of layouts, workflows, and adoption blockers. And a step four, highlight quick wins who can fix this week. And a step five, deliver a clear roadmap for long-term gains. So at the end, you don't just get a list of issues. You get a prioritized action plan that transform Salesforce from underused software into the real growth engine. So I think we can move to now. To bring this to life with the real customer stories and examples, I'm going to hand it over to our solution engineer. We'll walk you through that what health check looks like in action and the kind of results customers see once the Salesforce is tuned the right way.
Okay. So I will probably take over from here. Let me replace the screen sharing. Miroslav, can everybody hear me all right?
Yep, everything's good.
Thank you. Why Zoom is acting like that, I don't know. Okay, so Health check. For me, it's really like a box of chocolates, and you never know what you're going to get. Of course, there are always the usual suspects, and some stuff we find all the time, something we usually expect, but as in with everything in life, there are things that can come up unexpected, and this is always interesting. That part makes my job personally really interesting. Uh, just one point I want to highlight: health checks for Salesforce are similar with to health checks in real life. That is preventive maintenance that you do for your platform. Uh, it's not a mechanical thing that can get broken, but your platform evolves, especially if you adapt new processes. It evolves rapidly, and there are outside factors which change. Salesforce itself gets updated, and these things they all need to be tracked, and sometimes measures need to be taken. So, what we actually do, uh, of course, we use the native instruments provided by Salesforce itself as the baseline to check basics and highlight any critical stuff that can come up from these checks. We can check the platform itself. If a client is using a portal, we can analyze the reports which are related to a portal. But we also utilize other instruments to help us create a better report and to better understand what's going on. Uh, we are partners with Elements Cloud, and one of the instruments we use is their Analytics 360 uh, to help us understand uh, what's going on under the hood. For example, one of the areas we always check is security and access. And uh, these checks can provide valuable information about what kind of permissions and accesses you are running. Sometimes we run into situations where users have too much access. I have personally seen a project with less than 50 users in total, 20 of which were administrators, which is obviously an overkill. Uh, as it turns out, of course, most of these people were not trained as administrators and didn't have any responsibilities related to that. So this is a risk that people could just accidentally break stuff. Sometimes we find, not sometimes, usually we find inactive users, which can indicate usually one of two things. Either business processes are not fully implemented, or somebody is not on board and is just not logging in. And the operational standards need to be either enforced or updated. That depends on the specific situation. Uh, but we can also find situations, and they are more often than I wanted to know. Like this is a real security issue. People are no longer part of the company, but they still have a user. Sometimes with the same lack of oversight, they could still have access to their emails, or they could still have access to the database and everything related to that. We can identify these cases and secure the access, and actually save money on licenses used. Because if you don't need that many active users, then maybe you don't need that many active licenses. So this is part of the security and access process that we check for. We can also check the data quality. This is something that we would use and transform that into a nice report with our findings, but we can analyze how utilized custom fields in the database, especially in the older platforms, in older instances. There could be processes which were sunset, which are no longer in use. And we actually had a practical case where we were asked to analyze how to remove some of the fields which were not in use. The client was running into a problem that they hit the limit of maximum custom fields per object, which is 500, which is a lot, but can still be a limiting factor for some of the bigger organizations with big or old processes, or where people just keep track of a lot of stuff. So uh, in this particular case, we knew beforehand which objects we needed to focus on, but during a regular health check, we can actually identify such cases and make recommendations on what can be removed, deleted to clean stuff up. All these actions, all these procedures, they allow for better development in future. So a health check before a development project is a very good thing, which can save a lot of time down the line. Whenever you make any changes, as a best practice, you need to run impact analysis. You need to understand what could be broken because of your changes. And the less clutter there is in the systems, the better aligned an organization is with best practices, the smoother the development project can run, and it can actually save hours, tens and hundreds of hours of development time if you don't run into those impact issues. Uh, So the next thing we check is how the Apex and other kinds of automations are doing. Different various instruments allow machine analysis of the code. Some of the code base on older organizations is huge and would take hours and hours just to look through. Modern instruments help us pinpoint where exactly to look, critical areas, objects, for example, with too many triggers on them, or classes which have a big impact on the system and which are very complex. And these systems, in this particular case, Elements Cloud actually gets good results in providing us areas where specifically to look, so we can analyze the specific cases and report on what should be made better, more aligned with best practices, better test coverage, etc. So, technical debt, it always happens. Most of our uh, programs and machinery, if you look inside, you will find inefficiencies, you will find something which needs to be done better to cover edge cases, to be covered by tests, or just the technology evolves and you just need to update because time moves on. What we did a lot in the recent years, practically, we transformed a lot of process builder processes and uh, workflow rules into flows, as both of these features needed to be moved into flow automations. Our health check allows us to quickly and easily identify uh, if such processes exist, and we always highlight in the report that this needs to be done. Um, Also, one of the quickest and easiest way to prevent problems in future, updating API versions of older parts of the code. In this particular example, we have 72 items which are in extreme level, so they need to be updated immediately. And this is the part of preventive maintenance which needs to be done. So health checks, at least basic ones, need to happen regularly. Most of the usual suspects can be done by an admin by just running native tools, but sometimes a global overhaul of the system can be really beneficial, especially for opportunities for future scaling. Because when you have a lot of tech debt, uh, you can run into a problem that you just can't move forward before you resolve all that. Here we have an example of two table of contents from our actual real health check reports. Uh, I removed the client names, stuff like that, but as we can see, the reports, they vary from client to client. That depends on the products they use, the problems which were voiced during the start of the project, what particular problem we're trying to solve apart from the holistic view. Because apart from the pain points highlighted, as it usually happens, we find also stuff, some of it really low-hanging fruits, which wouldn't require a lot of effort to resolve, but can really benefit the client. That's my part of this um, presentation. I can answer some questions if we have any, or I can showcase some of the instruments. Let me stop sharing my screen for a minute. How do I do that?
All right. So let me just wrap it up real quick. Thank you so much, Sergey, for such a detailed explanation how the health check works. Now you just seen how the health check works in the practice. But the bigger question is, why does this matter for you? Before we move to questions and probably some more detailed explanation or real case from Sergey, if we have enough time for it, I just want to let you know. So the reality is that Salesforce is not just another software license. It's your growth engine. It's where sales, marketing, service, and operations come together. And when it's not working at full power, you're leaving money on the table. Think about deals slipping because of missing data, reps wasting time on manual work, reports that doesn't reflect reality. Each of those isn't just an annoyance, it's a real revenue impact. What we do at RedTech with a health check is not just fix problems. We create momentum. So we help your team get back to the basics, adopt the right habits, and take advantage of features you're already paying for. And here's the kicker. So most of the impact comes fast. We talking about quick wins, and in the first weeks, we talking about the cleaner reports, automated processes, better adoption, and from there we scale into bigger ROI. So if you're sitting here today thinking, yeah, it's something that sounds familiar, or if you're working in a Salesforce account as account executive, thinking, hey, I have a couple of clients who struggling with all of those. Bring the to the conversation, like 20, 30 minutes, just to find out what they looking for, what they struggling with, and we can set up a more in-depth conversation, like a health check discovery, like for 1 hour deep dive. Tell your clients and tell your managers what exactly could be fixed. We help you identify hidden gaps and make your Salesforce work for 100% of its potential. Um, and now let's move up to some questions from our audience. We're happy to answer all that you're interested in.
Yeah, I can see a question which concerns my part, I think.
Mhm.
So what exactly do you use to run the health check? Well, as I said, we mostly use the native Salesforce instruments. And yeah, Salesforce Optimizer is going to be retired as part of Winter 26 release. Uh, we will see if we actually need the optimizer related instruments in future. Right now, most of these actions can be done with elements that we're using, Elements Cloud instruments. And I have seen a recommended Salesforce Labs package, uh, which can replace what Optimizer used to do. Haven't had an opportunity or need the opportunity to test it out yet, but well, there are a lot of different various instruments which can be used to analyze fields, uh, to analyze automations. Right now, we're using elements, and we're ready for Optimizer Sunset. Uh, what happens after the report is delivered? Well, what we do, we present the report. Usually, we can follow it up with a project with detailed roadmap and action plan to resolve all the issues we have found. We can make recommendations to update the uh, business process if that is something that was uncovered during the health check, or we can actually resolve the issues. Uh, of course, it depends on what the results are, but usually it's a list of actions which can be prioritized by their complexity and criticality. So, of course, low-hanging fruits could be done quickly and easily. Some issues could be more time-consuming, but that is for the client to decide in which uh, order these should be resolved. What issues can be detected automatically? Well, there are some cases where relationships can't be detected by the automation. Elements can help us focus and find such issues, uh, but there are cases where we need to uh, well, see for ourselves. Mostly this is related to either business critical logic, where, for example, system would highlight unused fields, but in reality those are needed and are part of a business process. Uh, Also, it could be inefficient but utilized automation logic, which will require human review. We can't just assume that this is bad and this needs to be removed. This is something client is using. It's just that it's not very efficient. But those inefficiencies usually show their ugly tail, and we can catch it.
All right. Well, it's no more questions, but I just want to add. So sometimes business owners struggles with pretty common question. It's like, why we paying so much money for Salesforce? Like different CRM can do the same. It's because you're not using it for 100%. So sometimes you're missing some integrations or you're using like siloed data everywhere, and it's becomes a problem because more than you work in that way, more problems it causes. So my our suggestion as a implementation partner with a good experience, just to start thinking about this, have a consultations, asking the right questions. If you're a customer here, ask your account executive what we can do, how we can help. If you're a Salesforce account executive, ask your clients what they're struggling with, how we can help. Bring us to joint conversation, and with our experience, with real world examples and case studies, we can show them that everything is possible, so we can help them fix what's not working or working, but not in that way that they expected. So, so I think it's pretty much it. So everything starts from communication, and we put communication in the first place. Before that, just think what you're missing, how you want to see your solution working for your business, how you want to see your business growing together organically with the Salesforce, and bring these questions to us, and together we can find the solutions that can help you achieve more results this year. Um, More questions from our audience? I think we don't have any more questions. We expected to have a 40 minutes, but it's 35-minute session. I think it's fair enough. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us this webinar today. I think I'll leave my email here for but I think on a registration page, we'll reach out to you with some survey or something. We can just asking the questions. If you have more questions and you want to join in-depth conversation about the business, about the Salesforce usage, or potential health check for your business, we are super happy to help you. So thank you so much, everybody, for attending our webinar today, and I'm looking forward to speak in the more detail about that concerns you have. Now, let me stop sharing right now. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of the day.